Alright, what is going on YouTube 2016? How y'all doing today? And welcome back to another video. So today I really wanted to discuss whether or not Nintendo not announcing a fourth ranked game mode for the launch of Splatoon 2 was a mistake. Now, obviously there is a very small chance that they could surprise us, but because of the fact that announcing a new game mode would generate a lot of hype and potentially motivate some people to buy it when it launches, it doesn't really make a lot of sense for them to sort of hide this from us and surprise us with it. So it's pretty safe to assume that we are just going to have the three at launch that were in the... You guys understand what I'm saying. So yeah, but there's obviously two ways to look at this. You can look at it as whether you can look at this that yes, it was a mistake or is a mistake. They should have announced one, or you can look at it as no, it makes actually a lot of sense, and it was a pretty smart move. So I want to start from the point of view that this was a smart move, right? And now there's a few things that, a few like good reasons why this would actually be a smart move. You start and you look at it's great for DLC, right? They now have another way of enticing people to not only maybe buy the game, but also people who have already sort of gotten bored of playing Splatoon 2. Now there's incentive, or not, I don't know. There's reason for them to come back because they'll be like, oh, hey, I want to try this new game mode, and potentially now they'll stick around, right? It also helps Nintendo with being able to manage the size of the game, and what I mean by that is because of the way Splatoon 2's rotations work, you're sort of limited with how many game modes you could possibly have before there's just too many and players aren't able to consistently get practice on all of them. And so by spreading out these releases, by not announcing one, it allows them to have more big DLC announcements and releases, which thus gives them more opportunity to draw in new players as well as pull back in players who may have gotten bored of the game already. Now, if you want to take the other side of this argument and say that, I feel like Nintendo has made a mistake by not announcing a new game mode, you're really thinking about that if you really think about it, there's not a lot of new stuff that Nintendo has announced for this game, right? There's obviously a bunch of new maps, new subs, all new specials, all of this stuff looks great. I have no complaints with anything that they've really announced, but when you look at sort of the things that are core to every shooter, you're really talking about the game modes and the weapons. Now, obviously, while the subs and the specials play into the weapons, they are not the core aspect of the weapons themselves. And so when we look at the weapons, obviously we have the dualies, which are the only new type of weapon that we know is going to be the game at launch. Then there's obviously the umbrella, but we don't know where that exactly fits, and it's not going to be at launch, so it's not really relevant to this discussion. Then there's obviously the Clash Blaster, the Flings Roller, and the Goo Tuber, which are the three new weapons we got during the Direct, which are now new weapons, but not new in terms of how they exactly play, if that makes sense, because obviously we already had blasters, we already had snipers, and we already had rollers in Splatoon 1. And then there's obviously game mode, so Salmon Run, right? Now, for me, I think Salmon Run's a really good idea, and I like it, and I think I'll play it a lot, and it'll be fun. It doesn't replace a ranked game mode for me. It fits into the whole single player for me, where yes, I'll play it and I'll enjoy it, but I'm going to spend 90% of my time in multiplayer, and if that wasn't there, realistically, it wouldn't change my experience. I know that's where I differ with a lot of people, and that probably is simply because I'm looking at this from the point of view of a competitive player who was very much focused on the multiplayer scene, and not from a casual player who's more interested in just the fun and enjoyment aspects of Splatoon. Because for me, when I look at Splatoon 2 right now, it really feels like Splatoon 1.5. Now, what I also want you to think about is when Splatoon 1 originally launched. A lot of people will say it felt like Splatoon 0.5. The game didn't really feel finished. 5 maps, not a ton of weapon variety, and only one ranked game mode, and then obviously Turf War. So what I feel like, for me at least, what Nintendo is sort of doing is they're sort of trying to replicate what they did with Splatoon 1, where it was like, all right, hey, we're not going to really come out heavy hitting, like this game isn't going to be super like polished and everything at the start, but if you sort of stick with us, it'll get a lot better, and we're going to add a ton of this game and really make it a fully fleshed out game. Now, if they were, and I can guarantee you, if they were doing this with paid DLC, they would get absolutely murdered, because customers wouldn't stand for it. They'd be like, no, this is stupid. You're just using us for money, or you're just gouging us for money, I guess would be a better way to put it. So the fact they're doing it with the free DLC, it's not the worst thing, and the game's going to be fun. The game's going to be great. I'm still going to play thousands of hours of it, I can guarantee you that. But I feel like what Nintendo's trying to do right now is sort of replicate what they did with Splatoon 1, because it gives them more of an opportunity to expand on it later and generate a larger player base, which honestly I can't blame them for. I understand that they're running a business, but for me personally at least, it feels like the game currently seems a little incomplete. But obviously this is where I really want to get your guys' thoughts about this. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you whatever? I just want to get you guys' opinions, sort of understand what you guys are thinking. Obviously, I'm hoping you're all excited for the game. I'm super excited. We're almost a week away. Obviously, test fires tomorrow. No, 2 days. I'm lying to everybody right now. Don't listen to me. But yeah, so anyway, guys, love to hear what you think in the comments. But yeah, as always, if you enjoyed, please remember to click that like button, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.